Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, a channel about telling you the fun stories, the tragic stories. It's mostly about the storytelling. Before we go into the video for today, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you get the videos the moment they come in. In the year 1985, in Colombia, in that small town of Amero, a volcano erupts. The volcano was called the Nevada de Ruiz. It erupted, and on erupting it was a tragedy because this eruption led to a mud flow. Mud flow. It was more of a landslide, and this was directed to the small town of Amero. So what happens? So when this mud flows, it kills people. It buries people. History has it that it was 80% of the people of this town were buried in this landslide, in this mud flow. 25,000 people died in this tragedy. It was really a very tragic event in history. So in this is where we get one of the most saddest stories you ever hear of in history. So it gives birth to a picture which is one of the saddest picture, one of the most tragic pictures that even until now, if someone who watched it by then watches it now, he or she feels so much sadness in their heart. So this is a picture of a young girl who was called Amira Sanchez. So during this mud flow, as the property was getting destroyed, her house where she lived with her auntie got also destroyed. She was trapped by the debris, and now the water was started to fill where she was. So when the water reached on her neck level, people noticed, and they came trying to help, but when they saw that they reached a time and they saw that they couldn't pull her out because something was holding her legs, the debris. So like you see there, that's mostly how the way she was trapped. So being trapped here, it meant that the only way she could get out at that moment was if they could remove her legs and then they pull her out. Which thing at this moment was really not easy to perform because there were no medical supplies. So it means if they could have gone for that option, she was even going to die of bleeding. So it was a moment which everyone felt helpless. Seeing her trapped there, they couldn't do anything. So what they did was they were trying to find ways of taking her out, but it was really not happening. So this girl lasted in that situation 3 days. Just imagine, in that situation 3 days. So in this moment, in those 3 days, people were trying just to give her water, trying to comfort her, because everyone was giving up, knowing maybe she's going to die. Trying to comfort her in this hard, agonizing period she was. But what touched really people's hearts was the braveness, of this girl. The way she remained strong throughout this. Just you're in a moment you feel like maybe this is my time, but she remained strong. There was nothing they could do. There were no medical supplies coming in. The rescue teams were taking forever. It was some of the thing which public came out to be very harsh about. Why would government take all that time to come in? But this was a time of her battling for her life. Just imagine battling, but you have nothing to do. So she was stuck in that position, in that pool of water next to her neck for 3 days. And the way you see, she felt like, just imagine 3 days in water like that, helpless. You see her eyes became black, and her hands were looking, they were looking so bad, and she was still holding on. So this was the moment. There was a French photographer who heard about this tragic event in Colombia. So this French photographer flew into Colombia to capture some of the images of this tragic event. So when this photographer came in, he took like 2 hours walking to where the tragedy had happened. So when he reaches this side, he starts taking some pictures of what's happening, and then this is when he's approached by a farmer telling her that there is a little girl out there who had been trapped in this in that situation. So this photographer comes in and finds this girl, because this was the 3rd day this girl had been trapped. So the photographer comes in, and when he comes in, he tries to see whether there could be anyone who could help getting her out, but it was all futile. So what happened is this photographer stands there, and they could do nothing, because this photographer says he felt really powerless. Him being there, him could not doing anything to the agony of this girl, but the girl kept being strong, So such sad period, and it's reported that it was only 3 hours since this photographer arrived that this girl died. And this photographer gave birth to a photograph that will remain a very sad photo, and it will always, even till now, when you see this photo, you really feel sadness. You feel something in your heart which is filled with grief for this young girl who was strong. So, by the way, this photo was named in that year of 1985 as the press. They won the best press photo of the year, but it came with a lot of criticism. So this girl dies in this tragic event, giving birth to this very, very unsettling, sad photo. So about this photo, I have said it gave birth to a lot of criticism, because people are saying this guy, the photographer Frank Fournier, was like a vulture, standing there just looking at this girl die and then taking a picture. But the photographer said, I just wanted to link these people who were in suffering with the rest of the world. What if I never took this picture? What would have happened? Would you have known about this girl? Would I even be talking about this girl right now? So it remained a controversy. They felt you standing there taking this picture, making you famous, while this girl was dying. It was not. So that's what happened to Omaira Sanchez. She died 13 years old in a very agonizing situation, spending 3 days in water, trapped. Nothing she can do, just waiting for her fate. How sad could it ever be? So that's the story of Ameno tragedy. That's what I have for you today. Please stay on, put on that bell, subscribe, so that I'm going to bring in my next story. Please don't miss it. This is how we're going to be going, story by story. So just be out there to enjoy. In the description, there is the article about this tragic event. So in case you want to know more about this tragic event, go into that description and then click on it, you get to read the full story and all things which I've not managed to bring out because they may be so long. So go and click on it, and please leave your comment on how I can improve on the stories, and also you can also give me the stories you wish me to talk about. So for now, that's all I have. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.